What if I told you one of the biggest car companies in the world didn't even start by making cars? Before Toyota became a global automotive empire, it was building weaving machines in a small workshop in Japan. And honestly, the journey from textile machines to dominating the car industry sounds almost unbelievable. Today, millions of people drive Toyota vehicles every single day. From Corollas to Supras, Hiluxes to Land Cruisers, Toyota is everywhere. But most people have no idea how the company actually started. The story begins with a man named Sakichi Toyoda. In the late 1800s, Sakichi became famous in Japan for inventing automatic weaving machines called looms. At the time, Japan was rapidly industrializing, and his inventions made textile production much faster and more efficient. People even called him the king of inventors. One of his most important inventions was a loom that could automatically stop itself if a thread broke. That may sound simple today, but back then it was revolutionary. It reduced waste, improved quality, and saved time. And interestingly, that same philosophy would later become part of Toyota's car manufacturing system. But the real turning point came through his son, Kiichiro Toyoda. Kiichiro was obsessed with automobiles. During the 1920s and 1930s, cars were becoming popular in America and Europe, but Japan barely had a car industry at all. Most vehicles were imported from companies like Ford and General Motors. Kiichiro believed Japan needed its own automobile company. So he used money earned from selling his father's loom patent and invested it into building cars. And honestly, it was an enormous gamble. Japan lacked experience, technology, and resources. Toyota's first vehicles were heavily inspired by American cars because the company was still learning how to compete. In 1936, Toyota released its first passenger car, the Model AA. For Japan, it represented something much bigger than just another car. It was proof that Japan could build its own automotive industry. Around this time, the company changed its name from Toyota to Toyota. Why? Because Toyota looked cleaner in Japanese writing, required fewer brushstrokes, and some believed it sounded luckier. Then World War II changed everything. Toyota mainly produced trucks for the Japanese military during the war. Resources became scarce, factories struggled, and after Japan's defeat, the country's economy was devastated. At one point, Toyota was actually close to bankruptcy. The company faced serious financial problems in the late 1940s. Workers went on strike, executives resigned, and many people doubted Toyota would survive. But instead of collapsing, Toyota reinvented manufacturing completely. This is where the company created something that would eventually change industries around the world, the Toyota production system. Instead of producing huge numbers of vehicles and storing them in warehouses, Toyota focused on efficiency and reducing waste. This system introduced ideas like just-in-time manufacturing, where parts arrive exactly when needed, instead of sitting unused for months. The goal was simple: remove anything unnecessary. And surprisingly, this made Toyota faster, cheaper, and more reliable than many competitors. Companies around the world later studied Toyota's methods. Even businesses outside the car industry copied them. Today, modern manufacturing systems are still influenced by Toyota's philosophy, but Toyota's real global breakthrough happened during the 1960s and 1970s. The company began exporting affordable and fuel-efficient cars worldwide. Then came the oil crisis of the 1970s. While many large American cars consumed massive amounts of fuel, Toyota's smaller vehicles suddenly became extremely attractive. Cars like the Corolla exploded in popularity. People realized Toyota vehicles were reliable, economical, and cheap to maintain, and that reputation became one of Toyota's greatest strengths. Toyota eventually became famous for building cars that seemed impossible to kill. You've probably heard stories about old Toyota trucks surviving insane conditions. And honestly, some of them feel indestructible. One vehicle that especially became legendary was the Toyota Hilux. The Hilux earned a reputation for surviving deserts, jungles, floods, mountains, and extreme abuse. Some people even joke that a Hilux could survive the apocalypse. Another icon was the Land Cruiser. Built for durability and off-road performance, the Land Cruiser became one of the most respected vehicles in the world. In many remote places, Toyota vehicles became symbols of reliability and survival. But Toyota didn't stop there. In the 1990s, the company made another risky decision: hybrid technology. At a time when most automakers focused entirely on gasoline engines, Toyota introduced the Prius, one of the first mass-produced hybrid cars. And at first, many people thought it looked strange. Some critics believed hybrid cars would never become mainstream. But Toyota saw the future earlier than most competitors. Today, hybrid and electric vehicles dominate conversations across the automotive industry, and Toyota played a huge role in starting that shift. At one point, Toyota even became the largest car manufacturer in the world, competing directly with companies like Volkswagen. But despite becoming a global empire, Toyota still follows many of the same principles from its early days: efficiency, reliability, and continuous improvement. In Japan, this philosophy is connected to the idea of kaizen, which means continuous improvement, the belief that nothing is ever perfect and everything can always improve. And that mindset helped transform a small weaving machine company into one of the most powerful automotive brands in history. What makes Toyota's story so incredible is that its success wasn't built on flashy luxury or aggressive marketing. It was built on trust. People bought Toyota because the cars worked, year after year, generation after generation. And honestly, building that kind of reputation is incredibly difficult. Today, Toyota produces millions of vehicles every year and operates factories all around the world. But behind the massive corporation is still the story of a small Japanese workshop that took a risky chance on automobiles when almost nobody believed it could succeed. From weaving machines to changing the global car industry forever. Like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories, and comment which brand I should do next.